Hi guys, it's Miss Marnon with another crash course, this time for standard 7.RP.2d, which is describe points on a proportional graph. So to do this, we're going to need to look at a proportional graph. So let me put one on our page. When we're looking at a proportional graph, we also specifically want to look at 2 points. So we want to be able to describe the point 0, 0, and we also want to describe the point 1, comma, r. So this r is actually going to be the unit rate. So maybe we should actually even call it k, because that's what we used to do in class. So we're talking about 0, 0, and 1k. Just as a reminder, when we are writing our points, they go x, comma, y. So the x comes first, which is the side to side, how far over, and then the y, how far up. And again, when the x is 1, the y is actually going to be the unit rate, which is very helpful for us. So we just need to be able to describe points on a proportional graph. So for example, this point here, it's 10 on the x-axis, and that means time h is hours. So this point is 10, 12, which is 10 hours, 12 distance in miles. So if our title is hiking, then when we say 10, 12, and the 10 is hours and the 12 is miles, it's saying you can hike 12 miles in 10 hours, or the hikers did, whatever the story behind the graph is, right? So they did 12 miles in 10 hours. If we look at the point 0, 0 specifically, this is point 10, 12, so let's label it on our description over here. 0, 0 is after 0 hours, you went 0 miles, right? That makes sense. If no time's passed, you haven't gone anywhere. But now here's the weird part. So we want the point 1, comma, k. So we have when x is 1, k, the y value is going to be the unit rate. But if we look at this graph here, this is 2.5 and 5. I don't really have a 1. I can estimate that it's about, somewhere here. So I know it's something less than 4, less than 2, but I don't know what the coordinates for this point is. It's 1 something. So because we know it's the unit rate, we actually need to use some of our skills from 7.RP.2b, finding the constant proportionality to help us. So we know that to find k, we can do y divided by x. Well, when we have a graph, we have a bunch of y divided by x things. So we just need to pick a point that is on the graph. So let's go with this 10, 12 we already used. So it's got to be on one of these perfect intersections, right? I can't use this point here. That doesn't make sense. I can't read what it is exactly, but I can read that 10, 12. So again, remember it's x, y. So the y is the 12 divided by 10. So when you do y divided by x or 12 divided by 10, we get a k of 1.2. That means this missing coordinate is 1, comma 1.2. And we can see, does that make sense looking at the graph? Well, I know it's less than 2, 1.2 is less than 2, that kind of makes sense. So if we were going to describe this point, we might want to say something about after 1 hours, they went 1.2 miles, or to go 1.2 miles, it takes 1 hour. But because it's the unit rate, we can even take this a step further. We can say they go 1.2 miles per hour or each hour. Right? There's so many different ways we can say it. So 7.RP.2d, we need to make sure we're doing our x and then our y when we're doing our coordinates. We need to make sure we're reading the units that are on each of these graphs. So here I had time in hours, distance in miles. We can look at the title to kind of help us figure out the story if it's not given to us. But that's it for this standard. So make sure we're finding what these points are on the graph using perfect points and perfect points only that meet right at those intersections. If we need to, we can find that unit rate for that 1, comma k by picking a different point and dividing y by x. So that is it for this standard. good luck on your data wall quiz.